Welcome to the AI Ireland podcast, your window into the world of AI innovation on the island of Ireland. Join us as we explore how AI is harnessed to tackle both business and societal challenges, revealing the cutting-edge solutions emerging from this vibrant AI community. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates and insights in the world of AI. Hello everyone, it is Mark Kelly here and you're listening to the AI Ireland podcast, and I'm very, very happy to welcome Brendan Byrne. Brendan is AI Technology Manager at TOMRA Food. You may not have heard of TOMRA, but you're probably using it, I'd say, at least once a week, if not twice a week, particularly with some of the changes that have happened locally in Ireland. Brendan, thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you come into the world of AI, starting to use some of these tools and some of the problems, and then we'll delve into a little bit more about TOMRA and your most recent role.
Yeah, so I've always been, curious about technology from a young age. So naturally ended up doing an engineering degree in college, and that's where I was first sort of introduced to computer vision in my final year. So probably would have been around 2005, 2006. And yeah, I was just sort of fascinated by image processing and sort of the information that you could retrieve from images, and sort of naturally led me on to continue in that area. So I pursued a PhD in computer vision. So looking at extracting metric information, so depth from images essentially. So I got my hands dirty with sort of vision systems, researching different algorithms, applying sort of clever approaches to extract depth information from images. So that got me into the area. And then looking at TOMRA, then a role popped up as a research scientist, and I was sort of looking, move from academia to industry. It's vision systems, so I was like, okay, this makes sense. I applied, and thankfully I got the role. So that was my way into industry, into TOMRA.
For a lot of people, TOMRA, they're thinking, TOMRA, what does it do, and engage? Sure. But we're all pretty much now, I said the majority of us now are using your machines probably outside our local grocery stop or kind of supermarket chain every day, kind of with recycling bottles and kind of getting kind of payment from them that you can use off your shop as well. It's been a pretty big impact.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so TOMRA, not many people know the name, but it's a global company. It's headquartered in Norway. And actually, TOMRA's mission is to sort of transform how we obtain, how we use, and how we reuse our planet's resources to enable a world without waste. So that's the big vision. And how we do that is by applying our technology and solutions across multiple industries. So the first being, as you say, what we call the collections industry. So we make reverse vending machines, and actually TOMRA invented those machines in 1972. So it applies inspection technology to, again, look at those cans, look at those plastic bottles, identify them, and then give you the receipt to collect your deposit return from the shop where you've deposited those bottles. So that's the original TOMRA, and actually that same technology then, or inspired by that same technology, we also operate in other industries. So we operate in the food industry, which is obviously where I am, and we'll talk a lot more about that in this podcast. Then we're also in the recycling industry itself. So all those cans and bottles that go through the machines, they ultimately end up in a plant where they're recycled again, and we have machines and technology in there, again, helping recycle those into the right stream so they can be reused again. And then we also have what's called TOMRA Horizons, which is a recent sort of a venture that we've set up, where we're looking again at leveraging our sort of core IP technology and know-how in sort of adjacent business streams. So again, looking at more circularity for textile industry, looking at sort of takeaway packaging and so forth as well. So there's a lot going on in TOMRA. They operate across multiple industries there, yeah.
And ESG has become so important. And then from a cost perspective, every business needs to be more efficient, and setting that culture of what is good and what customers now expect as well in terms of when they're actually choosing your brand. Tell us a little bit more about TOMRA Food and some of the ways that you've been able to use AI.
In terms of, TOMRA Food, the product that we make is called an optical sorter, essentially. So just to give you an idea of what that sort of looks like. So it's a real-time vision system. If you imagine something on, say, the scale of the size of a a car, a family saloon, or up to maybe a large van, that would be the footprint. So these sorters then have, multiple subsystems. There's a lot of mechanical engineering goes into them in terms of the, chassis and enclosures, lots of electronics and embedded devices. There's all the software development and AI models which are in there. And then there's like an actuator system which physically moves the food after we've inspected it into sort of different streams there. So that's sort of the big picture in terms of that's the actual product. In terms of the value then, maybe to bring it a bit more concretely, if we take, say, French fry production, for example, so making French fries, if you look at the food value chain there, if you think of the farmer who has to grow potatoes, his costs have increased quite a lot over the last number of years. So, costs of fertilizer, costs of fuel, costs of storing goods, costs of transporting goods. Same when that goes to the actual French fry factory and the producer there. They are concerned as well about all the rising costs, including the labor costs as well, which have become more scarce and have increased. So when you look across that food value chain, there is actually opportunity to squeeze more dollars out essentially for the customer, and to do that in a sustainable way. And that's sort of where our products fit. That's where our technology brings value to our customers, and we sort of do it in, I'd say, three or four ways. So number one would be sort of food safety. That's always number one for food producers. So minimizing or eliminating all foreign material that would be in the food stream. Nobody wants to be the producer who delivered finished goods that had glass in it or metal or plastic. So there's an element of brand protection, and our AI models that we run in our machines are best in class at detecting foreign material and removing that completely from the food stream. So that's sort of the first way in which we deliver that for our customers. Second thing then would be sort of the highest quality sorting and grading. So again, with our advanced AI models, our customers have sort of the ability to, fine tune again to maximize the amount they get out of that product. So again, a 1 or 2% increase in yield for our customers in terms of transforming into that finished goods could be worth millions for some of those customers. So again, that'd be a big element of the value our products would actually deliver. Then there's the lower operational costs, which is really important. So minimizing downtime. So downtime is a really expensive thing that can happen to our customers. Like it can cost tens of thousands of dollars per hour being down and not producing food. So we have sort of really, really robust software in our machines. And then I guess, operational efficiency for our customers as well, in terms of lower labor costs, more automation by having more of these machines in the line. And then the final thing, of course, is the sustainability elements that our machines actually provide to our customers. And again, the sustainability in the design that we put in, again, consuming less energy, consuming less air, and so forth to do the actual job that it does. Yeah.
So much to go at there. But if I just think from a practicality perspective, so let's say it's kind of like a landfill and you've got all this waste. So the computer vision system must be incredibly succinct and move so quickly that it can decipher within milliseconds or seconds between glass, animal product or whatever, that you can actually pinpoint to go, okay, we've spotted something here. Is that a kind of a bell that goes off to say, bring somebody to the plant or bring someone to the conveyor belt, stop, take it out, remove? How does that work? So I always think of like the kind of the carton of orange juice where it's going into the conveyor belt. You've got a computer vision system that sees that it's kind of crinkled. You put it into a truck. Those crinkled cartons are more likely to burst up, which could cost tens of millions over the course of kind of a year. But if somebody actually goes over, uncrinkles it within a quick couple of moments, you've actually saved yourself like maybe between 5 to 10 million a year, obviously at scale.
They are some of the big challenges, all right. So the speed at which we have to do things. When you're applying these computer vision models, So if you think of our machines, you can be inspecting fruits and vegetables, whatever it might be, at up to 3 meters a second. So sometimes thousands of objects per second. And you've got to inspect, process that data, run it through a model, make a decision on some of our systems within 20 milliseconds. So that's the sort of time frame you have to operate these models. And then, as you rightly point out, when you're operating at scale, how you tune these models is really, really important, right? So if you think of false positives versus false negatives, let's say in food production, if you're looking for that foreign material, as you say, let's say it's a piece of glass running through the factory. So a false positive is when you say, okay, I think a French fry is a piece of glass, I lose a French fry. Okay, so that's obviously, the more you do that, that's going to cost the customer. But the false negative is the big one. That's where you do miss an actual piece of glass to detecting it. So there's very fine margins there in how you tune those systems. You have to minimize the false negatives, but that comes at the cost of some false positives. And then how you handle those false positives in the plant, if you're saying, hey, false positive, this is a piece of glass, you need to go and collect this. That's a whole process that needs to be optimized. But that's what our technology gives our customer options and how they want to handle that.
I always try to explain to people the simplicity of false positives. Let's say you're on holidays and you're using your credit card and it doesn't work. And then you need to call the company and the fraud team and you actually say, I'm on holidays. Can you please uncheck my card so it can actually work again? Go, yes, we can. And then suddenly you can use that, which can be deeply frustrating because you're actually it should be able to actually tell that as well. So minimizing that in itself is very, very important to do. And then from an operational perspective or efficiency, you obviously kind of got predictive maintenance in there in terms of optimizing the time of when to actually kind of give downtime to machines or servicing. Is that kind of based on a digital twin, or is it just your own proprietary?
Yeah, it's at the moment it'd be some of our proprietary sort of logic that we have around that. But yeah, it's a big area that we're also starting to work in and look at AI techniques in terms of predicting the lifetime of certain components, or if there's an anomaly and some part stops working. If you can predict that, of course, in time, and you can alert, the service organization or the customer themselves, then they can sort of have mitigating actions in place and make sure that they can minimize the downtime there. But yeah, that's one of the areas we're starting to operate in, because there's been a lot of sort of interesting developments in sort of the research in that area that we could apply to our machines. Yeah.
And ESG has become so important across the whole kind of world that we're working with. Businesses now are, they're working in terms of bonus schemes to actually ensure some of the kind of directors and kind of employees are actually incentivized. But then also just customers are expecting us to be doing more or less and being more efficient and being better for the environment. Where do you kind of see the future of utilization of some of maybe generative AI into some of the work that you're doing, either from an employee experience or a customer experience, or if you don't want to talk specifically in your own domain, maybe what's interesting to you externally?
I think there could be a lot of potential Gen AI applications in our industry. So we're looking at building some proof of concepts at the moment to sort of flesh that out and see if they do actually deliver the value. But I think making our systems even easier to use for the customer, a sort of talk to your product type scenario, maybe a chatbot for your product to, again, help them optimize and squeeze the fine margins out of the machine. I think that's certainly one use case that could be interesting. I think there's also potential improvements that we could make in terms of the internal knowledge base we have and making that more accessible, improving our service organization, which ultimately improves the operational efficiency for the customers, which all, contributes to that bottom line on their ESG as well. So they're sort of some of the areas that we're looking at the moment. It's always interesting thinking about how you can apply the generative AI to the manufacturing industry, because a lot of the use cases today are not there. Within our industry, the focus is probably more on bringing, moving away from traditional machine learning and bringing more deep learning in to get sort of improved performance.
Yeah.
And
I've been most impressed with the kind of HR onboarding, offboarding, where you can take a document of 100 pages of the manual, upload it to a large language model chatbot, that engages as your most patient advisor or expert, responding back to a newbie at like 4 a.m. or 7 o'clock at night. And again, it feels really comfortable asking these questions, or also where you've got all the wealth of insights and information from the company uploaded into this super agent that can pass extra information. Say, well, if you're looking for a question or a theory around what we've been doing in AI, reach out to Brendan. Here's his contact details. He'll be able to help you there, or follow-up questions. And then you've also kind of got the customer service aspect as well, in terms of where you'll be able to engage, I'm guessing, with an AI agent at these machines that will be able to actually coach you through, look at you, how you're putting the bottle in, give you feedback to actually say, oh, that you need to turn it around in real time, and actually kind of help users that maybe have got a disability or something like that too. And then you've got all the optics, all the key KPIs on a dashboard that's movable in real time, and you can speak to it while you're driving your car. How was the performance last week compared to the week before? What's our efficiency level? What's our downtime? So there's loads of different innovative ways to think about it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, some very good examples there you've highlighted, actually. Yeah, indeed.
Brendan Byrne, AI Technology Manager at TOMRA Foods. Thank you for joining us on the AI Ireland podcast today.
Thanks, Mark. It was a pleasure.
On the 26th of November, join us for the 6th Annual AI Awards at the Marco Hotel in Dublin. This year's event promises to be our largest and most impressive yet, with over 300 community members in attendance and over 48 applications of AI in action. This truly is an incredible world-class event, and we are inviting you to this event. Experience the excitement live, because we're going to be capturing this with a world-class film crew, and it's going to be streamed online. However, if you want to join us in person, book your table now, because opportunities are limited. If you're interested in sponsoring this year's awards, please contact me at Mark@AI Awards for more information and see the best in class of AI applications on the island of Ireland.